Hi, welcome to another educational video about screen printing by Catspit Productions. Today we're going to take a quick look at consumables or chemicals that are used when you make screens and work with screen printing, work with Plastisol inks. All these chemicals that we're going to talk about today are formulated for textile screen printing with Plastisol inks. Okay, and these products are made by Sadi Print, or Sadi Chem, actually, I should say. Sadi Chem, I guess, would be the correct company. And I just happen to use this stuff. I like it. It's pretty good stuff, and I use it. So I figured I would use these products to show you the, to explain a little bit about what each one is used for and help you out, because we haven't really talked specifically about chemicals. We've talked about them along the way in different videos and stuff, but I never actually talked about them individually. So obviously one of the first consumables that you'll have in screen printing is your emulsion, and that can come in quarts or gallons, and there are three basic types of emulsions that can be used, and you'll want to check out the website, the Catspit website, to learn more about emulsions and the three basic types, and that will help you choose which type of emulsion to use. But for the most part, for home printers, although dual cures have a short shelf life after they're mixed, I do kind of recommend them because they're pretty easy to work with. They have a wide exposure latitude. So this is like your first consumable that you're going to need in screen printing is your emulsion. This is a light sensitive photographic liquid emulsion that is applied to the screen, and as you know, you've seen my videos before, so you know what that is. This is what we use to make the stencil. Okay, then there are going to be products made like a blockout. This is a product that's made to actually use after you burn your screen and after you wash it out and it's all dry and you're ready to go to press. Right before you go to press, you would use this stuff to block out pinholes or unwanted openings in the stencil. So this is kind of like a finished product. That's why they call it finished W1. And this particular one is, I believe, resistant. Here it says resistant to water-based and solvent-based ink. So when you're working with your blockout, you have to make sure it's compatible with your emulsion and that it will be compatible with your ink. Okay, so you got that. Then you also will have your mesh preps. Okay, this is one called Direct Prep 2. It's a mesh prep by Sadi Chem, and this is a mesh prep that you've seen me use before. We use this when you prep the screen to coat with the emulsion. So you basically clean the mesh with this stuff before you coat it with emulsion, so that the emulsion will coat nice and evenly and won't repel from any grease or anything like that. Okay, so you've got that. This is a good, the mesh preps are always good to use. Okay, then let's go over to some of these other ones. We've got, on the other side of making your stencil, you have reclaiming your stencil. So you have an emulsion remover. This one's called ER2. This one will remove the emulsion from the mesh from your screen. So after you've burned the screen, you've used it, you don't want to use it anymore, but you want to reuse the screen, you would use the emulsion remover to remove the emulsion from the screen and start getting it ready to take new emulsion. Okay, and then that's where these other products come in. Once you get your emulsion off with the emulsion remover, you have to check and make sure you have any haze. If there's any haze or ink stains, you would remove them with a haze remover. That's one of these two products. And haze removers come in liquids, and they also come in pastes. So a lot of pastes will come in a bucket, the liquids obviously in a jug, and these will remove ink stains or any other kind of staining that happens to the mesh, which staining is basically ink that builds up around the mesh fiber, and basically after a long time it closes in the hole, so it makes it harder for ink to pass through the mesh when you've got stains. So that's what these products are for. Okay, so you would remove your emulsion, then you might do some haze removing, and then you would degrease it again with your direct prep, your mesh prep, and then you'd go back and coat it again with emulsion and be ready to go. See, so a lot of these chemicals here you'll use on a daily basis all the time, okay? And then for on press, when you're dealing with Plastisol inks, there are two kinds of ink washes that are cool to have. Sadichem makes two. IR4 is, I believe IR4 is one that's designed to rinse off with water, so you can use it right before you reclaim. Like you take this, this is for off-press ink removal, where you would take it over to your washout booth, you spray this stuff on, you'd scrub it down, and then just hose it off, okay? And this is ink remover, that's what they call that. Then they have something that's called a press wash, and the reason why it's called press wash is because it's designed to be used on press. So this is a really user-friendly, all these Sadichem products are actually very user-friendly today. They're really easy to work with, they're not too bad. The worst are going to be your haze removers, but even today, they're very, very good. They're far removed from what they used to be years ago. They're a lot more friendly. Okay, so you got the press wash, and this is designed to use on press while you're working to do color ink changes and stuff like that, you know, to clean the palette and clean the bottom of the screen and just basically work in general when you have to clean up a little bit of ink while you're working on press. Okay, so those are some basic chemicals. These are some of the most basic chemicals that you'll use in screen printing, and make sure to check out the website, because the website has a ton of information about all this kind of stuff that you want to know. What chemicals to use, there's consumables and ink usage charts, there's color mixing articles, there's articles about screens and frames and mesh, and the website is young and it's growing, and I write articles continuously, and as we go along we will get more in depth, I believe, with the articles. Right now we're writing articles that are introductory in nature to help all you guys who may have not screen printed before, and that's what this video is about today. You know, we want to help people who might not have ever screen printed before, and so we're explaining things on a very basic level. So make sure that you check out the website. It's really cool, it's easy to use, it's a very simple website, but it's packed with a lot of information. Remember to rate 5 stars, subscribe, and thanks for watching.